right, we'll go ahead and unmute our microphones. Welcome to the Chopping It Up show. We're back. I'm your host, Joe Beer. Happy to be of service for you today. Today is May 1st, 2022, 3 o'clock on the West Coast and 6 o'clock on the East Coast. We appreciate all those listening live or listening podcast style through iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, or wherever you are on the interwebs. This podcast is brought to you by Blockman Music and Publishing, blockusup.com, SAY Marketing and Promotions, Kevin Peete of ReMax Patriots, Math-Sci Tutoring and Educational Services, Lamik's Video, Bull City Music School, Prodigious Music Concepts LLC, and the HBCU Recruitment Center. So let's give a quick round of applause to all our beloved sponsors. Allow us to do our thing. So we got another great guest, of course. Somebody that went to school with me. I know that's kind of telling the show a little bit already. But we'll definitely have a good conversation here. The one and only Byron Mischeaux. How you doing in this podcast, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm well, man. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Glad to have you on the show. I know I
Yeah.
wanted to have all the fellas on the show. So this is good because it's been a while since I think Darian and DeAnthony were on the show a while ago. But now I got I got the actual cameras now. So you the first one from the crew with the camera where we actually doing it live and all of that. So this is really cool.
That's good because I'm the best looking one.
Right. That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Man.
Oh yeah, of course, man. I definitely we'll get into it because I know we got high school to get through. But so I'll bring that stuff up in. So just for the folks at home to know, we're gonna talk to Byron here, go through the first half of the interview, then we'll take our commercial break for our beloved sponsors, and then we'll come back and wrap up the end of the video, the podcast. And again, you guys sit back and enjoy yourselves. Shout out to all the people that is in the chat room. I'm seeing people are getting in there now. So welcome to the show. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Byron, where you from, man?
I'm from St. Louis, man. Born and raised.
Nice. Now, are your folks from? I meant to always ask you. Are your folks from that area?
Yeah. My mom and dad are both from here, from St. Louis. So they met in high school. They went to Beaumont, and then and they were like they lived like right around the corner from each other. But my grandparents on my dad's side, they're from New Orleans, and then my grandparents on my mom's side, they're from Mississippi. So
okay,
the coast. Both by the coast.
That's what's up, man. Because most folks, most folks, especially in St. Louis or Chicago, like somewhere or another, they from Mississippi somehow or something.
Yeah. My family has roots in Chicago too. So on my dad's side. So
okay.
My granddad lived in Chicago for a little bit too. So
that's what's up, man. So then that also explains the Mischeaux. You know what I'm saying? The when you said Louisiana. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Creole roots.
Right.
Creole root.
Right. That's what's up, man. Okay, that's good to know. I mean, no matter who it is who I talk to, I always find out something new. You know what I'm saying? About them. But I always knew it was something. I was like, he got to be like from that area or something. But I did know about Mississippi.
My grandparents on my dad's side, they're Creole. They're from Louisiana. So
okay. All right, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So I want to ask you, what was your first instrument? Because I know you played an instrument. So what was your first instrument?
Yeah, so I played trumpet, and a lot of people don't know. Me and you have a band connection.
Right.
Back in 8th grade.
Right.
We played in the honors band.
Yep.
So I was like, 18th chair or something like that while you were the star of the show for the trumpet. You were the star. You had a couple solos. I was like, man, I was really impressed and blown away by you because I kind of really BS'd around with the trumpet. So I would see back when I was younger, like all my friends on my street were older than me. And once they got into middle school, I would see them bring home instruments. And I was like, I want to play an instrument. And my best friend at the time played clarinet. And so I was just like, I want to play the clarinet. And so when I
Oh,
got
okay.
to middle school, when I got to middle school, it was a choice between, you do vocal music or do instrumental. Of course, I chose instrumental, and I chose a clarinet. But so we had so many girls that had already chosen the clarinet, and we had nobody to choose the trumpet. So the music teacher was like, "Who wants to play the trumpet? We need some trumpet players." And so my best friend at the time, he was like, I'll play the trumpet. I think he initially chose saxophone. He's like, I'll play the trumpet. So then I was like, well, I'll play the trumpet. And then one of my other friends was like, well, I'll play the trumpet. And like, so then it turned into no trumpets to like 4 or 5 trumpets.
Uh-huh.
So I stuck with it, but it was funny because so many people they chose the trumpet that we didn't have enough to go around. So the school had to order some. So we, so we had to go. It was so messed up. We had to share mouthpieces. So one person to take it home one
What?
week to practice their embouchure, and then so we clean it out with alcohol. And another person. So I went to. Needless to say, I went to St. Louis public school for middle school. So that's where why we had to share. But we got trumpets in, and then so I started playing from there. But like I could read music and play notes like really well, but I really couldn't pick up on like rhythms at first. I had to hear it
Right.
and then I could play it back. But I really didn't practice, man. I would leave my trumpet in the cloakroom a lot of times, so I wouldn't have to carry it home. I was, but I played well, but I just didn't put any effort. I was like, I don't have to practice. What practice? Talk
Right,
about practice.
right.
But yeah, that was it. And then so I like even with the honors band, like that was a big deal. I didn't realize how big of a deal that was. Because the teacher asked me, and I was like, Saturday? No, I gotta go on Saturdays. Like, nah. And then so my homeboys, oh, well, I'll do it. And I was like, nah, 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 yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Yeah. And so me and my best friend at the time, like, so yeah, we did the honors band, and it was a good experience, man. I'm glad I did it. I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. But yeah, I was kind of a lazy trumpet player though.
So was that Latroy, your boy that did the honors band with you?
Yep, yep, Latroy, yep. Is
Okay.
what's funny is our kids now go to the same school, so
Wow.
so I see him. Well, before COVID, I saw him often, but now I don't see him that much because of COVID. Kids just got back into school, and like we just started back having like festive things going on at the school now, so I'll probably see him a little bit more coming up. But yeah, I don't see him that often because of COVID. But yeah, our kids go to the same school, which is crazy. So
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. And I think that cause St. Louis, I mean, you grew up there. It ain't the same. Like, I think it's different, but it ain't the same. Like HBCU, like music stuff there. Like when we were there, I
yeah,
remember. So like my family, especially like in Mississippi or North Carolina, like band was like sports to them. So
yeah.
it was a lot different. And I remember you and Latroy because I think we were only three black people. I know in the trumpet section, but I
In
don't
the trumpet
remember.
section for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
trumpet
don't
for
remember
sure. But
too much.
yeah, I remember some black girls playing clarinet that were really good, and I remember a black kid on the drums that was like really good. But yeah, that's it. Just a handful of us, man.
Right, right. So like less
I
than
didn't.
10, probably.
Yeah, and the thing I was gonna turn it down, man. I was like, it was a good experience, and I'm glad I didn't turn it down. But yeah,
Yeah, man. And it was cool
it's funny.
because
I'm sorry. It's just funny how we ended up at high school together. I was like,
Right.
yeah,
Because I'm really good with faces, and I remembered you from that time when I saw you in high school. Because, it was important for me. Because, I mean, you remember where I grew up out in West County. My parents tried their best to put me around as many, like, educated black folks as possible. So,
yeah.
and those experiences, it helped. So I remember trying to, like, talk to y'all. Because I remember y'all were cool. Y'all knew each other. So,
Yeah, I remember. I remember us talking after because we were all waiting for our parents to come pick us up,
right,
and I think you kicked it off talking about maybe like the college basketball game. I think Duke and Michigan were gonna
it
play,
was the
and
Fab
Michigan
Five.
Fab Five, and I think yeah, and that's just how we started talking. And then once we got into high school, I remembered you from that, and then I remembered that we played against you in basketball because I went to Concord and you went to Olivet.
Yeah, buddy.
And so it was just like a full circle moment for me, man. It was crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy how we ended up together like that.
I know. And we used to be scared of Concord. Like, it was like, when we would see y'all name on the schedule, it was like, oh my God, it's about to be a massacre and stuff. And then I remember our coach was like they're human just like you. Like the good old Derek Fisher, he was like, they put their pants on the same way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was trying to calm us down. Cause boy, y'all came through there. I mean, it was a massacre. And then
but
they closed, we were like, whoo, we ain't gotta play them no more. You know what I'm saying?
and this is the thing though. So we had two teams. So one team had like, all the guys that was on the varsity when we got into high school. So it was like Chris Nesbitt, Randy, I forget Randy's
Ooh,
last name.
Randy
Mar-
Willis.
yeah, Maurice, I forget his last name too. But like the A team had all them and the B team had me, and we would play y'all, and you you were just murdering us. And I was like, this kid is good.
Yeah, boy, I
And then
remember that.
we ended up on a freshman basketball team together, man. It's
Yeah,
just crazy how life works.
I know. That's crazy, man. I mean, I remember that, and it's funny you say that because I remember because I was the only black dude on the team, and they were like, "Man, come on, Joe, like you black, like you know what I'm saying, you gotta, like you know what I'm saying, like you gotta." And I was like, "Man, they all black, like you know what I'm saying." So, so
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, man. But yeah, it was a lot, when my parents being who they were, and then me growing up in that area. Like you know what I'm saying? It
Yeah, no,
was
yeah, I get it.
yeah, it was interesting.
And so
Okay.
it was kind of the opposite for me growing up where I grew up. Like I was the first in my family to go to college, so it helped me to be around you all and the Smothermans, college educated black families, and that was really the key to me really understanding like what I needed to do and how I needed to navigate going to college, and the Rayleighs too. Like if it wasn't for y'all, man, I don't know where I would have ended up, but so it was kind of the opposite. I was able to get around y'all and see a total different way of life for black folks, and it was just crazy.
Yeah, man. And you boy, you brought it back. Kenny Rayleigh, boy. He went to Olivet too. Um and I don't know if you knew Hassani Bland. I don't know if you knew him.
The
Um
name sounds familiar.
I'm sure you know it because St. Louis small. But
Smart,
man,
yeah.
boy, they used to hit me up. I'll never forget when they start because they weren't there when I got to Olivet. I think I was maybe in like sixth grade. And boy,
Mm-hmm.
Kenny and Hassani used to drive me every day. They were like, Oreo Joe. You know what I'm saying? That was my name for a
Oh,
little bit.
oh, I didn't know that. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Kenny and Hassani used to roll me, man. Because, I mean, I was the only black dude in that class. So, I mean, I
Yeah.
like New Kids on the Block, all of that. I was all into that stuff. Bon Jovi. They were like, Joe, what's up, Joe? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's funny, Kenny Rayleigh, man. And he like a doctor now or something, ain't he?
He is. And what's funny about that is we ended up at Mizzou together and we pledged the same chapter. So he pledged before me,
Oh
which is ironic.
snap!
He was after me, but yeah, yeah.
Ah, okay. I didn't know he was the alphas. Oh, okay. All right, that's what's up,
Yep.
man. That's what's up, man. Okay.
Yep.
So we kind of talked about the St. Louis, you know what I'm saying, the surroundings and everything. What would you say was your first HBCU experience?
It was definitely going to the Gateway Classic, like the first Gateway Classic. I think me and DeAnthony, I think you went, and I know it was me, DeAnthony, and Darian for sure. I think
Right.
you may have been there. I don't know if we came together, but I think you may have been there. But that was yeah, that was my first experience, man. Just going there and see how important it was to represent, for HBCUs. I didn't know how important band was. Like the band showdown was, almost just as big as the game.
Right. Right.
And uh, and I think at that time Steve McNair was like the starting quarterback who went on
Yep.
to be like an NFL legend. So it was like that was really my first experience, and it was it was really eye opening, man. And from that point on, we made it a point to go every single year. So to support that, to keep it coming back.
Right. It was. I think that was like '94. I think. So like maybe we were sophomores or something like that,
Yep,
or
something like
something.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
90, 93, 94.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think I saw y'all, but I remember I went with Jason Edwards. I think because Jason Edwards stayed up the street.
Yeah, y'all
So
were neighbors. Yep, yep.
yeah, so a lot of stuff I was always tagging along with him because he had a car, and I didn't want to
I
go nowhere with
I
my
had a funny
parents.
I got a funny story about him too. But remember, remember remember it was after our first freshman year, freshman homecoming. He had a car, like you said, he had a car. Remember we all piled in the car with him and we
Oh
went
my
to and like
god!
I some and then, then he was like, all right, so I gotta be getting home. He was like, all right, cool. You just go drop us all off and then we be heading home. He was like, nah, I'm going home. I don't know where y'all going. I was like,
Yeah, and that was my bad. I was trying to. I don't know. I was trying to kick with too many people because I think I had a date and I had just
I know
forgot all
he
about
was a
her.
classman and he had a car and he allowed us to roll. So we like, we rolling with Jason. And
Right.
then D'Anthony had to call his mom to come pick us up and drop us off. I was like, man, never again will I kick it with Jason Edwards. I won't
Right.
kick it with him anymore.
Right.
No
Yeah.
more.
I even had some blowback because the girl was like mad. Like she was mad. She was like, "You know what that's like? You had all them dudes in the car." And I was like, my bad. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't even thinking
we,
like that.
we didn't know any better, man. We were
I know.
young. Like I should have checked before. Like I stay out north now. Are you gonna be able to take me home?
Right. Right.
Should
Oh
have
man.
checked first.
I know. I know. And it was funny too, man. Like when I came home, I mean, a couple months ago now, like when I drove out to North County, it didn't even feel like it was that far away. I think I drove down Lindbergh too, and I was like, this drive ain't that bad. But when we were coming along, like North
It felt like
County was like, whoo, that was the
yeah,
truth. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah, it was a hard. Everything felt like coming out to your house felt far. It was
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And then I remember I used to tell y'all, I was like, oh man, it's just like 15 minutes away. And DeAnthony was the main person talking about, man, it was like an hour to get to your house, Joe. Like, you know what I'm saying? I hated that too, man. But because
yeah.
y'all was my peoples, man. Like I didn't. Other than the people I had met like at Pattonville, probably because I had left that school district in third grade. I didn't know nobody in my at my side of town. Everybody I knew was in North County. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, man. That's what's up, man. All right. So, HBCU experience. Um, I also wanted to ask you too. In high school, you already said that you didn't march, but were you a part of any teams, or did you have a most memorable experience in high school?
Yeah. So let me tell you why I didn't why I didn't march. Right. So
Okay.
so so I already told you right. Like I was just a lazy trumpet player. Right. And so I wasn't even. I had no plans on going to Lutheran North, honestly. I had come up in the Lutheran school, but like you said, you mentioned earlier, Concord, when they closed, a lot of those kids went out to River Roads, and I went to public school because my mom was like, I'm not paying for you to go to school no more.
Right.
So I went to public school, and so from there I was going to go to Parkway West. I was going to do DSEG. I
What?
had go ahead.
No, I'm saying what? Like I didn't know that because my dad, no, he was at Parkway South. But yeah, I didn't know
Yeah,
that you was thinking about doing that. That's crazy.
yeah. I had a schedule and everything. I was enrolled. I had a schedule. I was going to do band. And then we were at track practice one day, and everybody at track practice, D'Anthony was like, "I'm going to Lutheran North." Charlie was going to Lutheran North. A bunch of people were going. I was like, I did come up in Lutheran school system. I know a lot of people just based on all the people that were going. So I talked to my mom and we went and visited and we enrolled and there it was. So needless to say, I started the enrollment process late. And so I was like, I play trumpet, so I want to be in band. And so I get to school, I get my schedule. I think band was like before school, and I was like,
Yup. Yup.
I got to get to school early. Okay, so I get to school early. That, mind you, I'm already the laziest trumpet player in the world. So, so I get to school early. I see Mr. T. He gives me some music. I hear y'all in the back just flowing. He was like, "I hate that you missed band camp." I was like, "There was a camp?"
Right. Right.
Like, yeah. He was like, "Here's all the music that we worked on in camp." I'm looking at the music, and it's like Chinese arithmetic to me. I didn't have an instrument. I didn't own a trumpet. So he goes in the back, gets this beat up trumpet for me, and I'm like, okay. So I'm in this little back. I don't know if you remember, it was like a little side room where they kept like
All the
instruments and
music,
all
all
kind of
that
stuff
stuff. Yeah, it was like the closet or something.
in the closet. So I'm in the closet practicing, and it was just disparaging. I was like, I'm not coming back to practice in the closet. I'm just not
Right.
doing it. So I came to school the next day. I saw Mr. T. I'm like, how am I gonna get out of this? I don't want to do band anymore. How am I gonna get out of it? So I go to Mr. T and I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do band. I'll play football, so I'll be busy playing when y'all playing at halftime, and it's just not good for me. He looked at me like he's like, oh, really? Like, so you think you're gonna be starting on varsity, huh? As a freshman? He looked at me like, okay, kid. He was like, you don't have to worry about that. I was like, yeah, and I don't really know the music. I just, I'm just not gonna be able to do it. And he was like, all right. He was so disappointed, man. He just looked like I just stabbed him in the chest, and that was it for band, man. I was like, it was because it was discouraging, man. Trying to practice on the music in the closet, like I didn't know the music. First time seeing it, y'all out there flowing, y'all already know all the music. I was just like, yeah, I can't do this, man. So
Yeah, band camp was like, I mean, it was fun, but it was also like we learned a lot of music. Cause I mean, you at band camp, basically from sun up to sundown, you practicing. So like I think we learned like the halftime show. We like learned how he wanted us to march, and then like all the music we had played. You know what I'm saying? So it would have been a lot to try to pick up all of that. You know what I'm saying?
it
After
was,
first day of
yeah,
school.
yep, I was super overwhelmed, and I was like, yeah, that's it for me, man. I'm gonna hang the trumpet up, and that was it. But yeah, outside of that, man, so that freed up time for me to run track, which that was my first love. I had run track since I was like 10, and so that's where I met D'Anthony and all those guys. So yeah, that was memorable. And playing football, like starting off as freshmen and going all the way through seniors with the same guys, man, it was that was fun. Like I hadn't played organized football until then, so that was probably some of our best times. Like our JV squad won ABC League, and we had like this memorable game in the snow where we beat Country Day, like the MICDS, the biggest rival.
Right.
So yeah, those are some of the good times, and of course, man, like our epic state championship where we squeaked by by a point because our jumper came through in the clutch for us. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so that was like because our reaction was just so organic, man. It was we were literally just thrilled. I think we were hitting cartwheels and back back flips and stuff. It was a really good moment, man. That was like but junior year we won state the first
Yeah,
time.
yeah, and we didn't know. And then after talking to Mr. Prolo and Mr. T, I mean because I was already, close to Mr. T, and then
Yeah,
talked to Mr. Prolo this last time. He said they knew what place I had to get, and they were debating whether to tell me or not, and they didn't want to put like that pressure on me or, you know what I'm saying. So and in fact, what ended up happening was Mr. T, he started like watching the other jumpers, and then he would stand like where like I needed to jump to. Like he was trying to play
yeah,
around, like he was standing over there, cause you couldn't be in the pit other than like if you were
right.
measuring or raking. So he would stand like behind the dude, like he was writing something, and he said, just jump towards me, try to land where I am. And so he he actually started doing that all our senior year. So I don't know if we was cheating or not. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
It was good. That was good coaching.
yeah, yeah. So he's like jump towards me, and they didn't tell me. So but now looking on it, but I'm glad they didn't, because I don't know if I probably would have tripped down the runway or something. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, they allow you to relax and just do your thing.
right, right, right. So yeah, that was definitely my most memorable. And then the next year, what I thought was special was not only did we like blow everybody out our senior year, but I remember
Mm,
that DeAnthony got first in his event, I got first, and you got first in your event. So,
yep.
you know what I'm saying? You had won 100, and yours had some suspense. I'm sure you remember, because it
I
was
do.
like you
It
and
was
three
close.
other dudes. Yeah, it was you and two other dudes, and I was just like, damn, like what I'm saying, that was close, and so then you ended up winning. So yeah, that was definitely my most memorable time in high school, us winning two times and then like blowing people out. Like, what I'm saying, we squeaked by and then blew people out the next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, senior year we were veterans. We knew we were ready for the moment senior year.
Right.
And I know coming into high school, all I really ever wanted to do was qualify for state in an individual event. Um, and so senior year, I quit playing football. I started and then I stopped, and I dedicated that year to getting better and winning state. I made a goal of winning state, make winning the 100 at state. I made that my goal, and I was able to accomplish it, man. So it was really rewarding. So that was definitely my most memorable moment from high school, man. Just being able to win, set a goal, and work hard to get it. And I worked at it, and I was able to pull it off, man. So
Yeah, that's yeah, that's gonna go down to the ages, and then getting recognized this past, what was that, October? It was the first week in October for us being in the Hall of Fame. So now I'll be telling everybody, you know what I'm saying, I'm in the Hall of Fame in my high school. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Uh,
yep.
but
Same here, same
yeah,
here.
yeah. And then the crazy thing is, so we won. The boys did a three-peat. I didn't know that the girls did a three-peat, but the fact that the boys and girls did it, like I don't even know if that's. I don't know. I don't know when other that's ever been done anywhere else in the country. I ain't looked it up per se, but
Yeah, I know. Maybe I think one of those. I think those Berkeley teams came close in the early '90s.
uh,
They may have won two and then had a gap in between the third. Had a year gap in between the third, but yeah, I don't know. To three-peat like that, I don't know. Yeah, that was special, man. I'm glad the school recognized us for that, man. That was
yeah,
really. I really appreciated that
yeah,
because track it wasn't like the glamorous sport, but like we had some good. some good times. We did some good things on the track. So I'm glad that they recognized it because football was king. So
Right.
all the football teams and all that stuff. Well, they were well deserved. But I'm glad we got some shine too, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. And shout out to my man Ishmael. He was able to keep the tradition. He won the
Yep.
following year, and
Yep.
and it's funny because we had a board like the triple jump board. There was a 32-foot board and there was a 38-foot board, and we wasn't
Mm-hmm.
used to the 38-foot board. But then both of us like did better with the 38-foot board. So I remember Ish was saying like, man, he was like, I wish we had like a 38-foot board because it made you jump longer
Yeah.
because you were jumping more on like the runway, but you had to like land in the pit. But with that 32 board, you only had so much to go in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I actually PR'd at the state meet. And then he
Okay.
said the following year he started like all the places that didn't have a 38-foot board. He started taping 38 feet, and he said that he was like straight dominating all the meets.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
good.
and when he got to state, it was nothing. You know what I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
saying?
He also ended up at Mizzou. Yeah. We
Yeah,
were.
he sure did.
Yep.
That's what's up, man. So yeah, man, that was good times, man. I knew I had to bring that up in
Yeah.
our conversation. So the next thing I'm gonna ask you about was your college selection process. But first we're gonna take the commercial break and play all the commercial for the sponsors. You're chopping it up with Byron Mischeaux, out of the STL Luther North representing. So we're gonna do that real quick, and then when we come back, I'm gonna ask you about your college selection process and
All
where
right.
did you ended up, going, and then we'll finish out the rest of the interview. So again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. We'll be back with Byron here right after the words from the sponsors.
And directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
The source for fair and factual information on your favorite college bands, blockusup.com. Well-written articles, in-depth band performance analysis, helpful resources for band directors, fun band-related topics, and exclusive interviews with some of today's brightest and most talented leaders of college marching bands. Visit us at blockusup.com, the meeting place for band fans and band directors.
Hello, everyone. This is Joe Beard from the Marching Podcast. Is your school, club, or organization looking for high quality decorated apparel to outfit your students, staff, club, or team? Tired of the same old boring white t shirt? Are you in charge of the upcoming fundraiser or special event but don't really have time to troll the internet for ideas or compare products? SAY can help with design and product selection. We can even assist with ideas on conducting an effective fundraising program. SAY can help you save time and get your message heard. So call 1 800 975 3156. SAY Marketing and Promotions. Give your brand a voice. If you're thinking about buying or selling real estate in the Southern California area, please contact Kevin Peete of ReMax Patriots. He will meet and exceed all of your needs. You can contact Kevin at 951 858 5942. That's 951 858 5942. Or you can email Kevin at kpsaleshomes at sbcglobal.net. That's KP, his initials, Kevin Peete, KP Sales Homes, all one word, at sbcglobal.net. Thanks again.
You want the best barbecue around? Smokey-O's coming to your town. Ribs, chopped beef, baked potatoes too. Smokey-O's know what's good for you. You want the best barbecue around? Smokey-O's coming to your town. Ribs, chopped beef, baked potatoes too. Smokey-O's know what's good for you. Smokey-O's, come check us out.
Providing online or one-on-one instruction for high school and college students in algebra, geometry, trigonometry, calculus, physics, and chemistry. Visit Math-Sci-Tutor.com. That's MATHSCI tutor, TUTOR.com to schedule a session or contact Michael Okoro at michael@mathscitutor.com. So again, visit mathscitutor.com, mathsci-tutor.com to schedule a session or contact Michael Okoro at michael@mathscitutor.com, providing online and one-on-one instruction for high school and college students in algebra, geometry, trigonometry, calculus, physics, and chemistry. Math-Sci-Tutor.com.
Do you like marching bands? Do you love band videos? Go subscribe to Lamik's Videos YouTube channel. Lamik's Videos YouTube channel has the largest archive of unbiased marching band videos on the internet. iPad giveaways, AirPod giveaways, and more. One more thing. Do you like this video? Prove it, motherfucker. Hit the like button right now. Hit that like button and subscribe to Lamik's Videos right now.
Bull City Music School is the modern approach to music. Enroll today and experience one of our virtual classes, and I can personally say that they are great. My daughter is a student at Bull City Music School learning the piano, and her teacher, Janetta Powell Hopkins, is doing an outstanding job. You can call Bull City Music School at 919-423-5701. That's 919-423-5701. Or you can go to their website at bullcitymusicschool, all one word, .com. That's bullcitymusicschool, all one word, .com. Bull City Music School, the modern approach to music. The HBCU Recruitment Center is the premier hub for increasing awareness and student interest in pursuing a college education at one of our nation's historically black colleges and universities. Founded by Dr. Tamisha Price Brock and Mr. Ricardo Reese, the HBCU Recruitment Center is headquartered in Las Vegas, Nevada, and provides educational consulting, degree and institution matching, and educational workshops for students and families. By forging student partnerships with key institution officials, the HBCU Recruitment Center will be the blueprint and catalyst for increased recruitment, enrollment, retention, and successful matriculation of BIPOC students at our nation's historically black colleges and universities. For more information, visit our website at www.hbcurecruitmentcenter.org. That's HBCU Recruitment Center, all one word, .org. Or you can give us a call, 1-800-676-1136. The HBCU Recruitment Center. Prodigious Music Concepts, LLC, founded by Dr. Tamisha Price Brock and Mr. Ricardo Reese. Prodigious Music Concepts, LLC offers comprehensive music instruction, education consulting, and professional development services for K through 12 educators and administrators and college university music majors, faculty, staff, and administrators. Headquartered in Las Vegas, Nevada, our services are offered in both face-to-face and online settings, with individual and group services tailored to your needs. Contact us today at 470-771-9447. That's 470-771-9447. Or visit us on the web at www.pmconcepts.org. Prodigious Music Concepts, where we are musically building a better tomorrow.
Hey, what's up? This is Byron Mischeaux, Lutheran North, class of 1996, University of Missouri, class of 2001, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, spring 2001. Currently, I'm working as a business analyst at U.S. Bank here in St. Louis. You're listening to the Marching Podcast Radio Network.
My name is Kennedy Beard, and I'm an honor roll student in the 6th grade. I'm also the daughter of Joseph Beard, and you're listening to the Marching Podcast.
Hi, my name is Alonzo Beard, and I'm a 3rd grade honor roll student, and I'm the son of Joseph Beard, and you're listening to the Marching Podcast.
All right, man, we can unmute our microphones. Again, thanks to all the beloved sponsors. And on the last video, as far as talking about the HBCU movement book, I know it says coming soon, but it's out now. You guys can go to the HBCU movement. Or even go on to Amazon to check out the book, the HBCU Experience Alumni Band Edition. All right, so back to Byron here. So we talked about high school. Both of us finished in 1996. As you guys heard in Byron's promo he did for me, that was a while ago. But we finished 1996. So now, Byron, what was your college selection experience like? Did you have some schools that you were picking from? And then where did you end up going to school?
All right. So, yeah, I didn't really have like a set list of schools that I was picking from. I was just mainly, I knew I wanted to go to college. I knew I wanted to run in college. So, what I did was just I applied locally. I would like WashU. I applied to, and of course, I applied to Mizzou. Applied to a couple other schools, but then, our friend D'Anthony, he was he had a scholarship offer to go to Grambling. And his dad was going to get me on like with a package deal to go to Grambling with him. And so I thought about that um real hard. And then so I took a visit to Mizzou. So I had Grambling on my mind. I was like, I want to run. It will be a good experience. I'll, get a scholarship to run. And then I took a visit to Mizzou, and it was an overnight visit. And when I got to the campus, man, I just fell in love, man. The experience was I just enjoyed the experience. They put on like a little, some of the Greeks put on like a little step show. It was like a really close knit Black community um, within the campus. So I just fell in love with it, man. And once I got word that I had been accepted and I was offered a scholarship, it was just kind of like a no brainer for me. It was close. It was away, but yet close. And so it was a no brainer for me, and I had to turn down the Gremlin thing, which I was appreciative of. But again, I wanted to kind of make my own way. I didn't want to have to rely on anybody else to get me back and forth to school
Yeah.
because Louisiana is pretty far from
Yeah.
St. Louis, so so my family couldn't really get me down there like that. So Mizzou was just a smart choice, man. It was just the wise choice for me, man, and I wouldn't take it back. Even though like going there, like in hindsight, I probably should have went somewhere closer, uh, a smaller school, just because I had been in small schools all my life, and it was that would have been a better fit for me because when I got to Mizzou, I was like completely overwhelmed, man. It was
It's a
like so
lot.
big, so many
Right.
students. You had 500 people in lecture halls. It
Right.
was
Right.
it was crazy. It was crazy, but like I said, the Black community was really close knit. It was a small handful of us. Everybody knew each other. We had like an unwritten rule that you say what's up to all the Black folks when you walk past one, and it was a good experience, man. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but like I said, I probably would have benefited from going to a smaller school, but yeah, it was that's I chose to go to Mizzou, and it was I think it was the right choice for me, man.
Yeah, man. I remember that. But I do want to say one thing about high school about you. I remember because remember we had chapel, and then we would
Yep.
have chapel, and then after chapel, they would always have like an announcement or something like that. And I remember that they called out the National Honor Society students, and I remember thinking like, wow, like who in our class like made National Honor Society, like you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
I remember I was really proud when I saw you go up there. I didn't know you were going. I didn't know that you did that. I think Darian went up there too, but Darian, that wasn't like surprise. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Darian, I kind of felt like he was already like making good grades, but I didn't know that your grades were that good. So when you said that you were thinking about Wash U, a lot of people outside of St. Louis don't know Wash U is a really good school. That's actually where my parents met, and
Okay.
yeah, and that's that's a really really good school. So when people talk about they applied to WashU or they were thinking about going to WashU, I was like, oh, they must have like really good grades. So I remember being proud seeing you walk up there when they did the National Honor Society stuff for our class, because I
Yeah.
remember out of like 75, I was like 66, 67, something like that. Like when we finished, like
Yeah.
when they gave us our class rank, I was like, damn, like you know what I'm saying. I wish I would try harder than that. Like you know what I'm saying. Um, but
I
but
appreciate. And look, the funny thing about that is, man, like I said, like I came from North City, man. Like I really didn't like school was never a problem for me. and I just didn't. It was just like it was just school, right?
Right.
But I wasn't exposed to a lot, so they had been asking me, they had been sending me, putting it in my little mailbox or in my locker or whatever, putting slips in there. National Honors apply for that. Since I got into school, they was like, and we had the Spanish teacher, Miss Payne. Was that her name? Miss Payne?
Yeah, Miss Payne. Yeah, I remember.
Miss Payne, she would ask me every year, you should do National Honor Society. You should join National Honor Society. I was like, what? No. I was like, man. But I was just so ignorant to it, man. And then it was crazy because like I had Mr. Groupie. He was one of my favorite teachers there too. So he would ask me every summer, he'd be like, so Mizzou has this medical program, I think you should do it. He was like, WashU has this summer program, I think you should do it. I'm like, I run track. I'm not going to school for summer. Crazy. And I kicked myself because I'm like, I should have done all that because you mentioned Darian. Darian did the medical program, and he's a doctor now. So
oh, wow.
like,
did he?
Yeah, he did. Like, it was so many. Kenny Rayleigh, he did the Mizzou medical program. He's a now. So I was just so naive. But then I was somebody was like, National Honor Society will look really good on your college resume. You should really think about doing it. And so that's what made me do it. I can't remember who it was. Probably was Kenny's sister Shalise. She probably told me. But yeah, I wouldn't have done it, or maybe Miss Smotherman told me to do it. But like I wouldn't have done it because I had no clue how important it was. But yeah, thanks for recognizing it, man. Because I didn't. It was a lot of people that saw stuff in me that I really didn't see in myself, man.
So you had to apply for it?
Yeah, you had to apply.
Because I don't know nothing about it.
Volunteer hours.
I don't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? So
you had to have a certain GPA. You had to have volunteer work. You had to be active in your community. You had to be active within the school. So yeah, and you had to apply. So I applied like my final year, and I was able to get in because they had been asking me to apply for the longest, and I just was like putting it off. Was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm an athlete. I don't do these. But it's crazy. Yeah, I think Kim was in there. You just had Kim on your show. Darian did it. I think Byron Lee. Yeah, but it was a handful of black students that that were in there, and I was like the last to get the memo. It was like, hey, buddy, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did, because even still, Kim, well, any girl in our class, and maybe it was just girls, because I felt like, oh, well, girls supposed to be paying attention in class anyway, like that. And Byron Lee, like, that was, I don't know, I kind of expected that too, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it was different when it was you, like you say, one of the athletes, like one of the super cool people, you know what I'm saying, that went up there. And I was like, damn, like that was pretty dope. And I remember I told my dad, and he was like, well, I'm sure Byron would like Jackson State. Cause I was like, well, Dad, well, hold on. My dad, I don't know if I told you, but my dad wanted all us to go to Jackson State. I mean,
I didn't know that.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
He wanted all us to go to Jackson State. And I remember Jason Edwards, he didn't mean to, but he was saying, because I mean, you and I know all of the circumstances and the parameters around stuff. So he was trying to explain to my dad, like, if Mr. Russell or Mr. Miller, like, if they got a letter from Jackson State, they're not going to give. They're not going to like push us toward no black school, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he was trying to explain to my dad, like, no. And that sent my dad off, man. Like, cause he really wanted Keenan to go play for basketball at Jackson State.
Okay.
And he wanted, I mean, anybody who was somebody doing something, he wanted him to go to Jackson State. And so I remember he went and talked to Mr. Miller and was like, are you throwing away? Cause of course by the time he had it, he was like, are you throwing away letters from black colleges? And I was like, oh, my God, Dad, no. Like, that ain't what Jason Edwards said. And Mr. Miller was like, Joseph, did you tell your father? I was like, no, man, like, no, like, you don't understand how much my dad loves, like, black schools and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
no, that ain't, So I had to calm him down, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes I think about that whole Russell thing. I wonder if that's, like, how it started. Because I remember he
Yeah.
got into an argument with my dad about it before all of that other stuff happened, where
Yeah.
he wanted, right, he was saying, he got it from Jason that, oh, I got a letter from a black college. Hell no. And they was throwing it away. That was in my dad's mind. So,
Okay.
oh yeah, man. So I remember, like, when you went up there, I told my parents that night at dinner, I was like, Byron is in National Honor Society. And my dad was like, oh really? Like, you know what I'm saying? He had already started writing notes down and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So,
Man, I was just I really was just in the dark, man, about HBCUs, honestly. And then you know how we are, man. Like, people start saying, well, you don't, it's gonna look better to go to this school over that school on your resume when you
yep,
get out and all that stuff. And then like a lot of that stuff got in my head. Um and I realize now as an adult and I learn more, it's like it was total BS, and I should have given those schools a more of a look. But like Mizzou just felt like home to me, man. So that's why I chose to go, and but yeah, I it was so much about HBCUs that I didn't know, and then all the negative stuff that I would hear, man. And so it just
yeah,
I just didn't even have the foresight to even think about trying my hand at an HBCU, man. But yeah, man, I was a I was a good student, and I didn't like try to hide it or anything like that. I just, people just I guess they just assumed that that we were all just
right,
terrible students, and it's like it's just so good to see we all went on and was able to graduate, be productive with our lives, man. You had like 3 degrees or something like that. It was like
yeah.
there was the doctor. It's like we can we if we apply ourselves, we can make anything happen, man. It was so
Yeah, and
yeah,
and it was good. It was good when we went back for the Hall of Fame ceremony, like to actually like speak to all the teachers. You know what I'm saying? Cause I was halfway like they didn't like us and all of that, but now like me being a teacher myself now, I see like how, you know what I'm saying. I see how stuff is now. You know what I'm saying. I got a good perspective from them. But we just had a good class, and Kim said that the very same thing when I had her on a couple weeks ago. I mean, we just honestly, man, we had a special class, at
yeah,
96.
yeah. I
Um,
think so too. I think so too, man.
yeah, yeah. But nah, man, that always made me proud. I remember, I'll never forget that, seeing you go up there, and cause I thought, even to this day now, you schooling me on what it was. I thought it was something that you had, like your grades were so good, somebody just reached out to you and
I mean,
they recognized you for it. You know what I'm saying? So it
yeah, it was. I mean, it was pretty much that. But you had
you had
to
to do some
formally
stuff. Yeah.
you had to formally apply. But yeah, it starts with that. They recognize. I was on honor roll every quarter, every semester, and it started with that. And so they recognize that, and they start, hey, you should kind of wink, 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 nudge, nudge. You should apply.
Right.
And I was just like, get out of here.
Well, I'm glad.
It sounds so bad, man. But we live and we learn.
Right, right. And I'm glad that there were some teachers that actually that did that for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that you said that. But yeah, I was
Yeah,
totally in the dark
Ruby
about
was the
that
man.
stuff.
Yeah, Miss Payne was. I liked her because she would ask me every single year. She asked me, "You need to apply. You need to do it." And Mr. Groupie would every single school year was like this summer program, that summer program, and he would be so disappointed. I'd be like, "Oh well." Like, just so ignorant, but I didn't know. I was ignorant. I didn't know. I
Right,
didn't know.
right. Well, that's what's up, man. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know none of that stuff either. I mean, I was into the band stuff. So,
Yeah.
I know I went to Southeast Missouri State 3 years for like a summer band camp. So I was just into that stuff. But now like a lot of stuff I'm translating over was like, well damn, if I actually applied myself, you know. And then like you kind of started the train because once I went to Jackson State, well I mean I was at Smith, I saw the same thing at Smith, but even at Jackson State, I just saw a lot of people like us that had like good grades. So it was like, hey, that's okay if you actually applied yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? So I saw a whole lot of black folks doing, and really, honestly, it was really the black dudes. I I guess it was in my head about girls were like just naturally mature or something, but I
Uh-huh.
just saw just black dudes like just like you, like they had good grades or they were going to medical school or they was going to law school. So finally, um, I think probably like my sophomore, my junior year. That's when things started kind of. Oh, I got my little thing on it in a new spot this time. I keep hitting it for the
Uh,
whole area. But no, that's kind of when things like really went to it for me. It's like probably my sophomore junior year. It was like you could actually go and be cool like too like having good grades. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
yeah, like you
And
said, man, ignorance, man. Like we were young. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And I got to Mizzou, man. It was so many smart, like I said, all the black folks were pretty much there on the same scholarship.
Wow.
So yeah, so like it was so many smart people, and like it's just, and it was just so like it was so overwhelming for me. So I didn't really settle into college until like my third year, man. It really, because it was just so overwhelming. Like you can't, like nobody was there to see that you went to class. Nobody
Yep.
cared that you turned in an assignment, and it was just like I was like, what? I got freedom. I don't you think I don't have to go to this class if I don't want to. Well, I don't think I'm gonna go today. It was just like I had a class, man. I had a class. It was a lecture class, about 500 students. The professor was legally deaf and legally blind, and the test was going to be 90% booked. I was like, he will never see me again. Like, no pun intended. But it was like, this class will never see me again, because I had work study, I had track practice, and I had to like scholarship commitments. I was just completely overwhelmed. I was like, something's got to give, and it ended up being track, of course. So
Right. Right.
I just never really got that much faster. So, but at least I did it. I could say I was a D1 athlete for at least a little bit, a couple months.
Right. Right. Well, that's what's up, man. So you picked Mizzou. I want to ask you, did you have a most memorable experience when you were at Mizzou?
Yeah, I would have to say it was pledging, the finest fraternity in the land, Alpha Phi Alpha.
Let me
The
give you a
oldest
round of
fraternity.
applause. Let me give you a round of applause.
Go ahead. What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
I was saying I was giving you a round of applause. I had the
Okay.
little round of applause people playing.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, man. It was that was probably, it was memorable. It was memorable. Like, and it was crazy because like I had never been exposed to like Greek culture, Greek life, until, well, let me take that back. So my mom, and her siblings, they had like a family friend. He actually pledged Omega back in the day, at Lincoln. But that was all I knew. And then school days, I knew school days, but it didn't really sink in.
Right.
And so when I got to school, I just got more interested in Greek life, and those guys were more aligned with what I liked, what I was about, as far as being a student and being social on campus and all that good stuff. So I got more interested, and I just wanted to be a part of, Black exclusivity, man. If I didn't, since I didn't go to HBCU route, I was definitely going to be, a part of, something that's like, you know, inherently black. So
Right.
that's what I chose, man.
Yeah. My dad was happy, man. My dad was happy again, man. Like he was
Yeah,
excited
and that
when
was
he heard.
I was so like to be able to grip your dad up, man. It was one of my proudest moments. But it was also, he hit me with a little something, and I wasn't ready for it, and I just felt like such a chump, man, because it was like I thought he was just talking to me, because we grew up. He watched me grow up, so I thought we was just shooting the shit, honestly. But
Right.
I was like, and then it clicked. I was like, oh Lord, this man thinks I am whack. He thinks I am whack. He thinks I just. He thinks I'm so paper, man. But we talked it out. We talked it out, and we squared it away. And that was it was a proud moment for me, man, to be able to shake hands with your dad, man, as alpha men.
Yeah, he was happy, man. I remember I told him, you know what I'm saying, and he was happy.
Only thing I didn't do was play at Jackson State.
Right.
I think he'd have moved me in, man. Move you to the basement.
Probably, because I remember, because of course, I mean, just like with you, as far as like when you talk about the trumpet, that's how I was with school. So he was already like, damn, like he was like just disappointed. You know what I'm saying? But me being like all band worthy and like the trumpet, that kind of like evened it out. Like that kind of saved me a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then the books, he was just like, damn, I wish you would apply yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he spoke Spanish. You know, he was a Spanish professor, but he also knew French and Italian. And so he was. I remember he was really excited about us being in Miss Payne's class. And it was the same thing, man. I was just like, nah, man, he was like, damn, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, shout out to Miss Payne. I got her on Facebook. She's something else now. But I'll say like happy birthday to her. You know, all that stuff like that.
Man. But you were like you played trumpet far better than I did anything else, like track, football, school. It don't even matter. You played trumpet far better than I did any of those things. So he should have been really proud of that.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. But
I heard the honors band, you had this. I was like, it's a black kid. I was like, this kid is cold.
Yeah, that was his thing, man. They cause he played trumpet. He played trumpet at Jackson State too. So that was his thing, and I was actually playing his horn until I got to, I think 11th grade. That's when my grandmother bought me a horn. But I was playing on his horn all of them years. So, like when I first started, he was showing me the ropes and all that stuff like that. So I got a lot of stuff from him. And then most of my cousins played trumpet. So I was just like it was like the environment, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that was huge. But yeah, I appreciate that, man. So we get towards the end of the interview. It's good to talk to you. I know I could talk to you some more, but I'm watching the clock.
Be on here all day.
I know. So when you were there at Mizzou and you doing well in school and everything, did you know what you wanted to major in and what you wanted to do when you got out?
I did. I went in with a plan, right? But they say everybody has a plan until you hit my. I spoke on Mr. Groupie. So science was my thing. Math and science was my thing. But I got to school, man, and it was just rough. So I was like a biology major. I was going to do pre-med. Me and Darian, we're taking courses. All our coursework was aligned. And we get to genetics, or it was either genetics or organic chemistry. And so we had a first exam and like Mizzou grade on the curve. So like the curve was set and my grade was like way below the curve. And like Darian had like an A in the class. And I was like, but the teacher allowed us to retake the test. And so I actually used Darian's test to study for the retake. And I did okay on the retake. But yeah, that was my last science class, and I was like, I got to bounce. I was like, this is hard. I wish I would have stuck it out, but I was like, man, this is hard. And so I had always had a passion for like financial literacy. So just
Okay.
growing up where I grew up, it just wasn't a lot of resources, man. And so I made it a point to always stay on top of that. And I think we had junior achievement class at Luther North. I
Yeah.
think Mrs. Smith class.
Yeah.
That class honestly was more beneficial to me than like than any other class that I took in high school, man, because it kind of taught me finance. It taught me the basics of finance and personal finance, and how important your credit was and all that stuff. So once I got to school, I always had that in the back of my mind. I never really saw myself as like a business student, but since I did have that love for like financial literacy and financial just being a good financial, having a good stable financial portfolio, whatever you want to call it. So I changed my major to business. Actually, I changed it to personal finance, and then so that's what I graduated in.
Okay.
So I graduated with my bachelor's in personal finance, and I had a couple internships. And so when I graduated, most of the jobs was like commission, and then there was a recession when we graduated in 2001. So I got on at Enterprise as a management trainee just to kind of get my feet wet, just pay out some bills and stuff. Um, and needless to say, it wasn't really for me. So I ended up getting a job at City Mortgage, well, Citibank, but the
I
mortgage
remember
division.
that. I remember that.
Yeah. And so I've been in mortgage banking ever since, man. So
Well, that's what's up, man. And when did you
yep.
go to U.S. Bank?
I moved to U.S. Bank in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, in 2013.
So yeah,
So
that was probably, I think it was around the time when you did the promo too. Because on the
yeah,
promo you say
2013,
you work for U.S.
2014.
Bank. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So
Yeah, man. That's what's up, man. So we winding to the end of the interview, man. Like I said, I always been proud of you, man. Like that's what I'm saying. I knew, like, cause you were fast. I
appreciate
remember we played football with brother Grimes, and my two cousins was with me, Jason and Chris.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
They're doing pretty good nowadays. Chris went to Morehouse, and he's doing like amazing. He works for like Amtrak, like running like a whole division of states.
Nice.
I think he's in finance too. I know
Okay.
he's doing something with numbers and telling people to put their money away. So I know it's something like that.
Okay.
And Jason is doing well for himself too. He's in Orlando,
Okay.
working at UCF, University of Central Florida.
Nice.
But I remember we were playing, and I remember we were leaving, and Chris was like, "Man, that dude Byron is fast." Like I was like, I know, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that took it back. But other than that, just the academia, man. Like, you was like one of the first ones that kind of got me going. Where it was like, you know what, like it'll be okay if you actually had good grades, Joe. Like, you know what I'm saying? You in the band and you all this stuff, but if like you had your academics together, you know what I'm saying, that would. So then seeing with that, and then at a black school, I finally caught on late, probably like my third year, and then
Right.
that helped me get through graduate school because I was the only black person in that graduate school program.
I bet. I
Yeah,
bet. Yeah.
yeah, it was different, but I was like finally like comfortable with myself, like, you know what I'm saying, like I was okay. Plus I like maps, so it just worked
Yeah.
out. So that's why I wanted to make sure I had told you that, man. I was like, man, they did chapel that day, and Byron Mischeaux, National Honor Society. I was like, damn, what is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, because yeah, it wasn't really, it's crazy, man. I didn't really think anything of it, man. I really didn't think anything of it. Like I was just doing, just doing what I was supposed to do.
Right.
I just knew that my family couldn't afford to send me to college, and I knew once I graduated high school, there was no way I was going to work.
Right.
So I was like,
right.
I gotta get ready. I gotta get ready for college.
Right. Well, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So we get towards the end of the interview, and let me give you a round of applause. It's always good talking to you, man.
I appreciate it, man. I ain't won no golf tournaments or wrote a book or anything or started a business yet. I ain't started a business yet. So thanks for having just regular guys on like myself.
Yeah. But even your story, man, is I know it's gonna be some younger kids see that and they can be like, wow, he was National Honor Society and he wasn't even really tripping off of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna help somebody. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, I hope so, man.
Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah, I just want to show people that your circumstances don't have to determine what you're gonna be in life. You know what I mean? So I didn't come from a lot of money or resources, but I still was able to understand how important it was for me to make things better for myself and for my family. So that's what I always kept in mind. That's what I always tried to do, man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. So yeah, I sure appreciate it. Say what's up to the family. I know we got to be getting up and doing something, and I know I'll be talking to you in the group chat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Of course. Always.
So yeah, we'll definitely be keeping each other posted about stuff, and like the stuff we was talking about before we started taping. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted on. So real quick, anything, and I think you kind of led to it already. Any closing remarks or any advice that you want to give before we close out?
Yeah. So like I said, financial literacy has always been a passion of mine. So I just want people to make sure you leave a legacy for your children. Like my son asked me the other day, it's crazy. He's like 12, going on like 50. Asked us what legacy, what y'all leaving me as a legacy? I was like, what? But it got me to thinking though, man. So just make sure you have all your affairs in order. Definitely, if you can, own some property, own some real estate. So you can leave your kids something to help them, get started in the world, man. Just don't leave your kids with with debt. You know what I'm saying? Leave them with more than debt.
Right.
Leave them some assets so that they can, continue to pass that down and, try to build some generational wealth for, because that's something that's lacking within the Black community. So.
Let me give you another round of applause. Yeah, I'm glad you said that because definitely as we getting older, I'm seeing that a lot, or just how people are finishing school and then they get like a trust fund or like just certain stuff like that, or like what my parents did. I didn't even talking about like not knowing. I didn't know what registration complete meant. Like like when you went to school and you had to have like your registration complete, like you had to have all your classes, and I didn't even know what that was. And I hate to say it now, because now it's like so many people, it's like working hard to send their kids to school and loans and all that stuff like that. But I didn't have to worry about any of that because like they were saving up for me, and that was their goal. Just like what you saying, my parents' goal was for me not to have any student loans. And I swear to God, man, I didn't know what they were talking about until I like moved out here. And I had got my job and everything, and they were like, okay, like you on your own, like, and I was like, well, like, could you send me $100? Like, you know what I'm saying? They were like, no. Yeah. And I remember my dad said, well, son, you don't have any student loans. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, well, I'm like, bro, I asked you for $100. Like, you know what I'm saying? Well, send me $50. Like, you know what I'm saying? I remember I was negotiating, and he was like, son, you just don't understand. People, like, you know what I'm saying, they got loans. And he said he had loans. And he said that was just like what you just said. He was like, I wanted to make sure that I worked hard enough so that you didn't have that. And I didn't know what he was talking about until I had some kids. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
now, like, it's for real trying to pay for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I just knew how hard my mom worked to send me to school to Luther North. Like it was a struggle. And so I just didn't want to waste that. I didn't want to waste that, you know what I mean? But once I got to school, you know, it was all on me. Um, and you know, one of my proudest moments was paying off that student loan debt. But that was one of the things that kept me from going to grad school, because it's like I really, like, I was down to like pennies when I graduated. So I was like, I have to make some money.
Right.
I can't go to school anymore. I got to make some money.
Right.
And then once I understood student loans and how they work, I swore not to ever get another one. So, once I paid off, I was able to pay off my loans, and it was a proud moment for me. So, I vowed not to get another one. So I just worked on like certifications and stuff like that to advance my education, stuff that I could pay for out of pocket. And, it's worked out for me so far. So.
Right. That's what's up, man. Let me give you another round of applause.
Appreciate it.
So as we close, if you're interested in becoming a sponsor or a patron to the Marching Podcast, please contact the show and we'll give you the criteria so we can start to pub your business using our platform. We'll play your commercial. We'll post your website on the blog and help send out information through social media. We want to start to circle the dollars in and around the craft to help build opportunities for our schools and our communities. So contact us so we can help build your business. That's all the time we have for this podcast. Check out the website and donate what's in your heart to themarchingpodcast.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks to you for listening. And remember, the eye is a better pupil and more willing than the ear. Advice may be misleading, but examples are always clear. See you next time.